I like your disclaimer the last one. I bet you did. That's hard.
Like plugging in everybody, like so
That might work. Just checking outside, see anybody's else still standing around out there. Good to go. Welcome. A lot of familiar faces out there. I think we had a great 10K race, and I will tell you, as an official on the water, I watched the men's race, and wow, what a great race that was. I don't know if you guys were watching the streaming on USA Swimming. Some of you in the water, but the parents and stuff, are they watching the streaming? They had that little drone that's out. They've been flying out there. Was followed the 4 guys across all the way around that last turn, and then the young man that won took off of them. But it was just a phenomenal picture on the TV thing. If you want to watch that, you can get it on usaswimming.org, and then you click on events, and then just click on this event, and you'll be able to live stream it. You can even do it off your telephone. So I gave them a little commercial. With that, I got some important people you need to know who they are. Our race director, who's the guy that puts this whole thing together. He spends a whole year organizing this stuff. That's Greg Cross. That's right here. He does get a huge amount of help from Gulf Coast Swim Team. His wife Connie and their daughter and Maria and all these other people. We've been meeting for a year to pull off each one of these things. There's a lot of coordination. One of the big supporters is Lisa Flanjack back here, who's our safety, coordinating our safety along with Kathy, Nancy. I was close. And they're part of the Lee County Parks and Recreation. And those of you that have never hosted an event or want to host an event, about the only way you can get this thing done because of the cost involved is you got to get the county involved, you got to get the sheriff's department involved, you got to get EMT involved, and they help us pull all these people together. And that's how we pull this thing off. So thank you very much to Lee County Parks and Rec. I don't think Jerry or Gary are here, are they? Okay, the 2 guys that do that. Also, Lee County Sheriff's Department and the San Carlos Estero Fire and Rescue. Also, and I think I said this at the other meeting, I'm not quite sure why they let us in most of that facility, but Miramar Lakes is kind enough to let us to come into that beautiful country club and swim on their lake. And they get a little flack from some of their families. But I know Greg had a good story this morning where a fellow came around and was so disappointed because he had a little breakfast party that he had planned, but we didn't go down the strait. So his little party couldn't see us because we were swimming this morning back in the main part of the lake. So anyway, so a lot of them do appreciate it. So if you run into somebody with a Miramar Lakes thing, just tell them thank you, because we want to keep getting invited back. I've been around the world quite a few open water meets, and I've never been to a venue that's nicer than this one. So it's just crazy. So with that, we do need a couple of introductions. Our lead officials for tomorrow. Where'd he go? Is Cecil? Are you?
Yeah, I'm right in front of you.
You're too close.
Yeah, right.
Cecil is going to be running the men's competition tomorrow morning.
I guess.
And Matt Wilson will be running the women. Matt's over doing the Crippen Cup and the Buddy's going right now. Crippen Mile, excuse me. Juries. Eva has agreed to do this one more time. Hopefully nothing will come from that. Pam Wilson is a local official. She's going to be our official representative. And Catherine Vogt is going to be our coach representative. With that, next one there. We are going by USA Swimming and FINA rules, in particular on gear and apparel. We'll talk about that in just a second. We're at a 5K, so there aren't any crafts on the water other than the 4 officials' boats, and there's a safety boat out there as well, and or a wave runner, depending on her mood that day. And we'll have all kinds of kayaks, paddle boards, and other things that are out there that are there for your safety and there for your assistance if you need it. Slipstreaming, there will be, you can do slipstreaming, of course, with your other athletes, but we're not going to have, you can't slipstream behind another motorized vehicle or craft, but behind other people is fine. Jewelry, watches, fingernails, toenails, all that, nails need to be cut back and trimmed. Most of you probably already had that done from Friday. We'll be checking that first thing in the morning, so when you arrive at the facility, the first thing you need to do is check in. You'll need your ID, photo ID, driver's license, passport, or whatever. Yes, sir.
My son's 15, does not have a driver's license or any photo ID.
Just see me afterwards, I'll take care of it, okay? Then they'll check your nails, then you're gonna get your entry card. With your entry card, you go over and get your chips, and those that you need to get numbered, you get your numbers, the tattoos. Those that are having tattoos that are peeling off, just see them and they'll touch it up for you. So we'll be using, with that case, it'll be those large black Sharpies. So we'll get that squared away. Pre-race meeting will be 15 minutes prior to the race on the beach, under the tent. And we'll start introducing the athletes just 5 minutes prior to the start. And once we get the start line lined up, it'll be a rope start in water between two crafts, two boats. Those of you that have not tattooed up yet, it'd be great if you could go ahead and go over to the facility and tattoo up tonight. They'll be there till dusk anyway. Go ahead and get that done so you don't have to deal with it in the morning. Okay? Any questions so far? Just talked about start-finish procedures. The start procedure is the rope. Finish procedure, of course, as you know, there is a finish structure. We'll show you a picture here in just a minute. Your race ends when you touch that structure. If you don't touch it, your race is not over. Okay? We have, I think he's got like 5 or 6 cameras on that thing. 6? 6 cameras on that thing. So actually the roots of this thing come from rowing. If you ever had an interest, they can slow that down to 1/1000th of a second and look at it frame by frame. So it's kind of cool. If for some reason or other you get in trouble, maybe you swallow a whole lot of water, or for whatever reason you need help, please just raise your give it this number. The boat or the crafts will come up to you, say, "Do you need help?" If you need help, we'll help you. We'll be there right there for you. So there's lots of folks out there. Don't be afraid to do so. If we notice your stroke changing or significantly or falling off the pace, we'll kind of keep an eye on it to make sure you're okay. But the number one thing out there for us as officials and all of our other safety personnel is your safety. Officiating comes second. So, okay. If you do withdraw, let's say by going out on a beach or going to a dock, hopefully we'll have noticed that anyway. But please come back to the starting area so that you don't make me go crazy trying to figure out if you're on the bottom of the lake or if so please come back. Unlikely we'll have inclement weather, but it does happen sometimes in Florida. If for some reason or other we need to clear the lake, you'll hear everybody start blowing whistles. You'll hear the air horns go off, and we'll deal with it. Go to the nearest boat, go to the nearest pier. We'll come back and pick you up. The weather's supposed to be hot, but it's supposed to be clear, so that shouldn't be an issue. Emergency recall after the air horns will be a big blast on the air horns and all kinds of whistles blowing. Recognition ceremony is after the men's race. Tomorrow's the women's race. Protests, if you for some reason the coach or athlete wants to file a protest, there is a procedure to do that. Just go to the administrative area, which is under the big tent on the beach. Race day schedule tomorrow. 7 a.m. to 7:45 is check-in for men. Again, I mentioned we need a photo ID. 7:45 will be our final instructions, and basically let's go over the course, see if there's any questions. It's pretty easy, it's pretty straightforward. 7:55, who's calling the on the land tomorrow?
Sam.
Dan is?
Sam.
Sam? Okay. So he'll be on the mic introducing each one of you. You'll go down to the beach. What we'd like for you to do is hold your hands up so we can video you. Just hold it out, have your numbers on the back, and then just walk down to the edge of the water. You'll give them your card, and that's your entry ticket in. That's one of the ways we keep track of who goes in and who did not. You're welcome to go into the water at that stage, or you can just hang out right there, whichever you like. 8 o'clock, try to go to 8 o'clock sharp, try to get the start off right away. If for some reason or other we have a false start or a bad start for whatever reason, you'll have multiple blasts on the air horn. That means you need to stop and we need to restart the race. Haven't had to do that, so jinx myself. Okay. Race day schedule for the gals. As soon as the guys' race is off, we can start registering you. Actually, if there's nothing going on in the registration area, you're welcome to go ahead and just register, but let's get the guys done first. 9:15 will be our final talk on the beach. 9:25 we'll start your roll call. We'll get you guys going at 9:30. Let's see. Jason, would you like to talk about your chips?
Sure, absolutely. So tomorrow you'll be issued 2 chips. One goes on each wrist. It basically is about the size of a watch face. You're just going to attach it to your wrist. When you're working with the official, when they're putting it on, make sure it's not too tight. and also make sure it's not too loose. You're required to finish with both chips. So that means that if you're racing and somebody takes off your chip, or otherwise, you're responsible to get a second chip from the race official, so you just find the nearest launch and make sure that you get one so that you can finish with it. But again, if you want to do something like tape your wrists, you're more than welcome to do that. That won't bother us. So you should be pretty good. At the finish structure, you'll tap the chip's register, and that's what we use for primary identification as well as your number. In addition, we have a video backup. As we pointed out earlier, we have quite a number of camera angles. So good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. I mentioned we're doing the live webcast. We're also, Dave Thomas will be on the lead boat for both races. He'll be announcing and streaming back to the beach. Doping control. Our representatives are Annie White and Laura Hahn. Is Laura here too? No? Stand up and let's see who you are. This is Annie White. Award ceremony. We'll be doing the top 8 plus the top 18 minutes. As I mentioned, there will be a drone flying around out there, but they will not be over you. They'll be around you, but they won't be over you. And I think with that, Bryce, you've got some stuff to talk about. Go ahead and do yours.
Just real quick on selection, the 5K champion will be automatically qualifying to the World Championship team, and as a result of that, will be automatically qualifying to the national team for open water. If you have any questions on open water selection procedures, you can see me after, or make sure you go to usaswimming.org to read the selection procedures yourself. Thanks.
Course. It's similar to the 10K course with the exception you do not go up the canal where that orange buoy was. I think can we bring the course up?
Yeah.
Where's your? Yeah, we're eliminating this part of the 10K. So you've got 4 yellows. The chute will be lined up. We had to adjust it for some of the events today. The chute will be lined up similar, as close as possible as to what it was for the 10K. The lime green buoy will be in the same place, even though we don't have a feeding station there. We're going to try and get that same line for you. Really, I mean, if you're out there, if you're out there, you saw it today, with the exception of the way the finish chute was set up. Any questions about the course?
Want to show the finish line?
Yeah. This won't be here. That's your feed structure for the 10K, and we'll have that lime green buoy, which I'm assuming they must on the finish, that last lap. Any other lap, you can pass on either side. The last lap, you must keep that lime green buoy on your left shoulder. Okay. Water temperature this morning was 84.8 at the start of the race. Normal temperatures around here, this is unbelievably unseasonable for us. Our average air temperature this time of year is usually 78 to 82. We've been up in the 90, 92s for the last week to 10 days. Because of the temperature, even though we are under the norm, we have every boat out there, every kayak out there will have extra water on it. If you need to get a drink, you got people out there that have water. Okay. Can you go back one? I'm sure.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
I think I covered everything. Water temperature.
Let's go back to look. You got 2 slides you can kind of blew through there.
See, there are 2. You guys have been here. There's 2 outdoor showers. They only have one after the race. There's 2 outdoor showers near where the hospitality is. Restrooms are over by the restaurant. I think that's it. Yes.
I just want to make sure. So there were 2 yellow buoys on the finish. Like, are those going to be there this time? The 2.
The 2 yellow buoys will be
on
at the finish line.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the lime green will be approximately where it was when during the 10K.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. There is still that one that was before the feed structure. They had the little white. We tied a yellow one off to the white. That is clearly there. I was only there to mark some underwater structure that was there. We couldn't pull it up. Well, I didn't want somebody swimming into that white buoy, so we tied a yellow one off, small yellow one. You'll see it in the morning. Okay, that you can pass on that. That's just so you don't run into it.
And you can pass the green line on either side as well, except on your last lap heading into the finish chute. Okay, everybody good on that?
Yes, sir.
Will the pool be open for warm-up tomorrow morning?
The lake,
No, the pool?
the FGC, what's tomorrow, Sunday? The FGC pool does not open, I think, until noon on Sunday, the college pool. I can check, but I'm pretty sure it's not open in the morning on Sunday. Me?
Okay. I'll see if I can get an answer to that before you leave.
Yeah, just it'd be good to get.
We'll find out. Yes?
Are they going to be, so for the 10K, the boys are kind of warming up in the little beach area?
That will be open about 7:15.
Okay.
Oh, for the, yeah, during the rationing, yeah. We'll keep that open, we'll monitor it, and as those last swimmers come around the last lap, we'll clear that area out so they don't interfere with the finish. Same procedure as for the 10K.
Yeah, you want to show them what you're talking about there, too.
That's the area right here on the parallel to the beach. But there were a few people that kind of wandered down to that buoy. Try to keep it, even though the feed structure is not there, try to keep it at least a couple hundred meters before. We don't want to wander down by the turn buoy.
And be aware, going left of that buoy, it gets really shallow right in here on this point. So just be aware of that. Elise, you want to talk about the safety plan? Oh, by the way, that's the finished structure if you guys haven't seen it yet. With a lot more cameras on it.
Okay, so Mark had mentioned the lifeguards that are out on the kayaks and paddleboards. We also have the lifeguards that are on the safety patrol boats that are out there. So there's, besides the officials that are on their boats that are moving with the swimmers, we've got a couple of our safety boats in our zone coverage, sheriff's office, a couple of park rangers with lifeguards on their boats as well. The lifeguards that are in the kayaks and the paddleboards, like they mentioned, we'll have some water or Gatorades. If you need something, we can throw it to you. What we're really looking for is for you guys to give us the signal that you need help. They'll approach you if you absolutely do need to exit the course. We give a flag and a whistle signal to the safety boats that will come to the kayak, pull you out of the water, take you to the dock. We do have our EMTs, paramedics and firemen there on property to administer any of the, if you need basic life support. At the first aid station, which is in the grass area under a tent, got some signs labeled first aid. There will be maps in case we need to send you to emergency room and then somebody needs to follow. We'll give you maps and directions to the emergency room. And there's also a couple of maps for the urgent care type deal if you need to go there. And then also, maybe what you might need the most is the Target Pharmacy, which is located across the street. So we've got maps for that too at the first aid station. Hospital locations within 12 minutes away. Shade and beverage, there's the big white tent that's on the beach is for the athlete hospitality and coaches to go in and get out of the sun. And beverages are all over the beach. Gatorade's a sponsor, so of course bottled Gatorade is there, as well as waters. Our communication with the lifeguards, again, like I said, we use whistles and flags to communicate amongst each other. There's not many docks in the area that you might get close to if you get off course. The lifeguards will give a couple of tweets. Our tweets are going to be definitely different than the officials that are on the boats giving any kind of tweets for interference calls. So you really will recognize it. If lifeguard's giving you a tweet, it's to watch your course and get back on course, don't hit a dock kind of thing. And safety craft we already covered.
Any questions for Elise? I'm glad you brought up whistles. From the fishing style here, myself, Cecil, and Matt, we don't blow whistles very often. So if we're blowing a whistle, we're blowing it for a reason. And at this level of race, we think it's really important, even though I'm not required to make sure that you know, So, but I want to make sure that at this level that you know you got a yellow flag, because your second yellow flag is death. So if we blow a whistle at you a couple times, just prick your head up and just see what's going on. If I'm pointing a yellow flag at you or whatever, then you're welcome to ask me, but at least you know. So that way you know, so you can adjust your swimming or whatever it is you want to do, so that you don't get yourself in a situation where we have a second yellow flag. So I can tell you that we have had very, very, very few red flags over time. Usually it's silly stuff like, you can't put your hand on the feeding barge, which we don't have one. So if you put your hand on gain support from a boat or a kayak or something like that, that's an automatic red flag. I seriously doubt at this level we're going to have any issues with that. But just be aware that we're blowing the whistle for a reason, and I don't like to blow a lot of them. Occasionally you might see me go like this, something like that, because you've been banging up against each other pretty hard for a while. But it is full contact swimming, and we're aware of that. And but if it gets too rough, we'll try to blow you apart. But if you don't pay attention to us, that's probably going to draw a yellow flag. Okay. Is there any questions on that? I don't know if we have that many. Things like you can walk over, as long as you don't impede the other swimmer's progress and you don't dunk them, so you can roll over their legs, that kind of stuff, might get kicked. But as long as you're not impeding another swimmer, then we're pretty. It's your race. We're there just to support you. Does that make sense? Any issues with that? Okay. I don't have anything else. Enjoy the evening. I've lived here for 25 years. If you're looking for restaurant ideas, I'm happy to give you some direction. With that, have a great evening. Get a good night's sleep. We'll look forward to seeing you bright and early on the beach. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. See ya.